What if the core of the Earth instantly cooled down? This question comes from someone who probably enjoys sleeping at night, but won't after hearing the answer. What if the core of the Earth instantly cooled down? Let's imagine that the inner and outer core, normally thousands of degrees hot, suddenly dropped to room temperature. No slow cooling, no warning, just click, and it's cold. First, you wouldn't notice anything. Your coffee wouldn't freeze, your phone would still work, and you might wonder if the question was a trick. But underground, things would already be going very wrong. The liquid outer core, made mostly of molten iron and nickel, is responsible for generating our planet's magnetic field. Without it, the field collapses instantly. Birds get lost, whales get confused, and your compass is now just an expensive arrow that always points to the nearest fridge. Within hours, the Earth would be fully exposed to the solar wind, a constant stream of charged particles from the sun. Normally, our magnetic field deflects most of this, but now it would slam into the atmosphere directly. Satellites would start malfunctioning almost immediately, GPS would fail, and power grids would face surges big enough to fry transformers. Still, you might say, hey, at least the ground is stable. Unfortunately, not for long. The outer core's heat also keeps the mantle partially molten, driving plate tectonics. With that heat gone, the mantle would start to solidify from the inside out. This sounds slow, but the sudden temperature drop would create enormous stress. Imagine the world's largest soufflé collapsing inward. Within weeks, earthquakes would increase dramatically as tectonic plates grind to a halt in awkward positions. Volcanoes would start dying off, but not before a brief period of absolute chaos, trapped magma chambers releasing pressure all at once, followed by silence. Without volcanic activity, one of Earth's key methods of recycling carbon dioxide into the atmosphere disappears. The climate would begin to shift, slowly at first, but over centuries, CO2 levels could drop enough to send us into a deep freeze. But that's the long-term problem. The short-term problem is that the sudden solidification of the core would make the planet shrink slightly. That shrinkage would fracture the crust in unpredictable ways. Entire mountain ranges could experience catastrophic landslides, and ocean basins could shift, generating tsunamis far bigger than anything in recorded history. In about a year, without the magnetic field, the upper atmosphere would start to erode. This wouldn't turn Earth into Mars overnight, but within a few thousand years, much of our breathable air would be gone. If humanity were still around, we'd need artificial magnetic shields, giant space-based machines to deflect solar wind, just to survive outside domes. The strangest part? Your day-to-day life for the first few weeks might not change much. You'd still go to work, eat lunch, and complain about traffic. But above you, the auroras would no longer be a rare treat near the poles, they'd be constant, global, and bright enough to read by at night. Beautiful, but also a glowing sign that your planet is now defenseless. After a few decades, the oceans would start cooling more rapidly because of reduced geothermal heat from the crust. Ice sheets would expand, sea levels would drop, and some coastlines would grow by dozens of kilometers. Farming would become a challenge as climates shifted unpredictably, and humanity would either adapt with technology or watch civilization slowly unravel. If you're wondering whether the Earth would die without its hot core, the answer is yes, in a way. The planet wouldn't explode, but it would lose its magnetic shield, its geological activity, and eventually its atmosphere. The surface might still be habitable for a while, but the clock would be ticking. On the bright side, and I'm using bright loosely, you'd get to see auroras in places like Florida, Madagascar, and the Sahara Desert. On the not-so-bright side, that would be because space itself is now trying to kill you. So, what if the Earth's core instantly cooled down? The answer is, enjoy the light show, while you still can. Subscribe for more interesting